Is blue side actually stronger than red side in League of Legends? Since its inception, blue side has been viewed as the more winning side of the map. At one point, blue team had a 4% win rate advantage in comparison to red team, but since then, Riot has tried numerous ways to tone this difference down, and they have been moderately successful. Some people would tell you that this advantage for blue side only occurs in solo queue where teams are less organized and that this difference doesn't occur in the highest levels of play. Well, if that were true, how would you explain this? During the 2021 Midseason Invitational, teams that played on the blue side of the map ended up with a 79% win rate across 14 total games played. During the 2022 Midseason Invitational Grand Finals, which included both RNG and T1, side selection for Game 1 was determined by a coin flip, of which RNG won and immediately selected blue side. In League of Legends esports, during a best of 5 series, if a team loses a match, they have the privilege of selecting what side they will play on next. So after RNG won Game 1 on blue side, T1 opted to select blue side next, and they proceeded to win Game 2. It went on like this, with each team winning every time they selected blue side, until finally, since RNG won the initial coin flip, they got to select blue side for the last map and would end up taking the MSI trophy. When T1's head coach Choi Polt Seung-hoon addressed the media after losing to RNG, he said, and I quote, "I believe that blue side is advantageous. We tried to prepare as much as we could from the red side, but we weren't able to win the match." When pressed further from the news outlet, he was a bit more clear, saying, "The reason we lost was, as I just said, because we weren't able to play on the blue side 3 times." So even one of the top teams in the world's head coach believes that blue side has an advantage over red, even at the highest levels of play. On websites like League of Graphs, we can see data over the last 5 years, and in solo queue, the blue team has pretty much always had a win rate advantage. Even though that advantage has dwindled over time, it still exists to this day. At the time of writing this, the blue side has a 50.8% win rate in Platinum Plus games, as opposed to the red side's 49.2% win rate. Why is this? Well, there are a few reasons why blue side could hold a higher win rate than red, of which I think the last one is going to get the most attention. The first reason, though, happens before the game even starts in both pro play and solo queue, and that's the draft phase. This advantage is pretty meta dependent. Blue side has an advantage in draft phase because if there is a strong champion in that patch that doesn't have a true counter, teams can purposely not ban that overpowered champion. This will either waste a ban for the red team or allow the blue team to first pick them with no trouble. And although we like to clown on Riot being bad at balancing their game, these patches where one champion has no counters at all is pretty few and far between. Red team truly has the advantage in draft because of their ability to pick after the blue team, allowing them to counter enemy champions more easily. This is one of the ways that Riot has attempted to even out the blue side's advantage, but as you can see, it only works some of the time. Pro player Doublelift pointed out that he used to love to get red side when teamed up with legendary support player Core JJ, so Core could get the counter pick. But even Doublelift acknowledged that by doing that, he was putting the rest of his team at a disadvantage by being on the red side instead of picking blue. Another reason why blue side is slightly stronger than red is because of map layout differences. Blue side has both easier access to Rift Herald or Baron Pit, as well as easier top side ganks thanks to the Tri-Brush in top lane, giving blue side another means of surprising the red side top laner. On the other hand, red team has easier access to Dragon, as well as an easier time ganking bot lane thanks to the Tri-Brush in bot lane, giving red side another means of surprising the bot laners. While this sounds like these points should even out, they really don't. Being a top laner on red side, where it's easier to get ganked due to that Tri-Brush, is more detrimental than being a bot laner on blue side, where the same is true. The reason being that in top lane, there's only one champion up there. There's no one else to help you ward, peel, or escape from ganks if the blue team was to abuse this extra power. On the contrary, on blue side, even with the weakness of the Tri-Brush, since bot lane has 2 champions in it, while still difficult, it's much more possible to avoid ganks thanks to your partner's wards or potential peeling ability. To exemplify this, some immobile top lane champions on red side have much lower win rates than they do on the blue side due to this weakness. Singed has a 53.4% win rate on blue side, but has a 50.5% win rate on red side. Olaf, when played top, has a 53.2% win rate on blue side, but has a 50.4% win rate on red side. And the worst of them all, Rumble has a 52.5% win rate on blue side, but has a horrible 47.8% win rate when played on the red side. These win percentage differences are less aggressive for bot laners, the most egregious difference being Tristana, who has a 51.9% win rate on red side, which is stronger for her, but has a 50.4% win rate on blue side. Kog'Maw has a 51.3% win rate on red side, but has a 50.4% win rate on blue side. And even AP bot laners like Ziggs have a 50.2% win rate on the red side, but has a 49.2% win rate on the blue side. Top laners can have up to almost a 5% win rate difference based on the side of the map they're playing on alone. But bot laners, on the other hand, only differ about 1.5%. And the difference of having more champions in the bot lane versus the top lane also comes into play when we talk about the advantages each side has for objectives. For red side, who has an advantage of taking dragons thanks to the easy access they're granted from their jungle, is less effective than the advantage blue team has to Rift Heralds early game. Dragons attacks can't be dodged or mitigated, meaning that it's risky to try to sneak a dragon alone if you're a jungler. And also, that additional extra champion on the bot side of the map means you double your chances of being caught or a large team fight breaking out if you're found out. Blue team's access to Rift Herald early game is instead a bit more risk-free. Rift, with proper kiting, can do minimal damage to the jungler and allow for easier sneaks. And again, that singular champion in the top lane means that it is much less likely for a big fight to break out or for ward to be on Rift Herald to alert the red team. The final reason why blue side is stronger than red side in League is, in my opinion, the biggest one. And that is that the camera angle in League of Legends is tilted to show more towards the top of your screen. The way that the player's camera is angled in League isn't perfectly top down. It's tilted at an angle so that what you see is actually a shape called a trapezium, allowing your perspective at the top of your screen to show more than the bottom of your screen. This extra room makes it so that the blue team has better visibility, more room to see, and an even easier time landing skill shots than those champions on the red side. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that all of League's HUD or heads-up display, like the minimap, champion portraits, and champion abilities, are located at the bottom of your screen. So if you're on the red side, you have even less visibility on your screen in comparison to the blue side. I can already feel someone in the comments posting, "Unlock your camera, noob," but it goes beyond that. Even with unlocking your camera, you can't change the angle of it. So naturally, even when doing so, you're going to still be at that same disadvantage as before. So how do we solve this issue? When it comes to drafting phase, the difference in gank paths, or the ease of taking one objective or another, there's not much Riot can do here. The meta would have to change to accommodate for these advantages. When it comes to the camera angle issue, there is something Riot could do here. For one, they could rotate the map to be horizontal instead of diagonal, therefore mitigating or completely removing that tilt or angle difference from the player's camera. For those who are newer to League, there was a map in the past that was horizontal known as Twisted Treeline, which was a 3v3 mode that was played pretty heavily. Since the map wasn't angled vertically or diagonally, there was no camera angle advantage for either team, and, would you believe it, the win rate for each team was exactly 50%. Another option is to mirror the game, so even if you're playing on red side, it looks like you're moving upward. Pokemon Unite, another MOBA, has already done both of these suggestions in their own game. The map is both horizontal and, regardless of what team you're on, it looks like you're playing on the left side of your screen. Riot has also mirrored their game, not in League of Legends of course, but instead for Wild Rift, their mobile League of Legends game. Regardless of what team you're on, it looks like you're playing from the blue side of the map. The only difference here is just needing to pay attention of what lane to go to, because if you are a League player, it may be confusing for you to go topside and Dragon be up there because the map is mirrored. Is Riot likely to rotate the map horizontally or add an option for mirroring in the future to desktop? Sadly, probably not. They've gone over 10 years with this problem happening, and the only good way to employ this would be more than likely to build Summoner's Rift from the ground up again so it can be viewable from other angles. So while yes, blue side is stronger, the main way to mitigate this probably won't come for a long time. For now, at least you have something else to blame when you lose on the red side. If you guys like this video, you'll definitely like my last analysis video, which was on why Mercury treads suck now. See you guys next time. Peace.